Yo, what is good, YouTuber? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the brand new Flash Super Packs coming tomorrow in NBA 2K25 My Team, with 100 overall Clyde Drexler, Dark Matter Alperin Sengun, and then a Galaxy Opal Trevor Booker and a Galaxy Opal OJ Mayo. Trevor Booker is a name I haven't heard in a long time. I don't know if he has had a card in My Team in the past few years. We'll have to check and see, but that is a name that I have not heard in a while. I wish OJ Mayo was point guard eligible. That card, unfortunately, will probably not be all that good as a shooting guard small forward. Sengun should be pretty solid and probably a little bit underrated, to be totally honest, in terms of how good he'll be versus what his price will look like. And then Clyde Drexler will be a very good card, but not worth his price tag because they won't change his jump shot. This is not an awesome drop, in my opinion, through and through. So before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. I will say the Flash card art is kind of cool. This is like an updated, never before seen card art is what they're calling it, and that is kind of neat. Although in general, it's still not like, I mean, do we really care that much about card art? No, not really. With that being said, first of all, the card that I'm interested in, Trevor Booker. I just want to start with him just because. Has he ever had a card? I'm sure he hasn't. Oh, he has. Well, hold on. I didn't even know he had a card this year. He's 6'8" small forward, or 6'8" small forward, power forward, 6'10" wingspan. Has he had a card in previous 2Ks? Let me check. This is a name that I haven't heard in a long time. He didn't have a card in 2K24. Didn't have a card in 2K23. Didn't have a card in 2K22. Didn't in 2K21 and didn't in 2K20. All right. So this is the first Trevor Booker card that we will ever have gotten that is actually like half usable. Tyler Cook base I think is pretty good if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's the upper that is pretty good. I know Kendrick Nunn upper is good. This could be a pretty good jump shot. Tyler Cook's, I feel like maybe it's his upper that a couple cards have that's actually a pretty good upper. We'll see how good of a base that is, but I'm gonna need some changed animations because normal escape, not great. Basic dribble style. I don't think normal behind the back is actually that bad. I think that's actually a half decent behind the back. So I wouldn't mind them leaving that. But an improved escape, improved dribble style is going to be a must for this card. He does look like he's going to be pretty good stat and badge wise. I mean, as an Emerald having 84 speed, 85 interior, he's going to have like 90 something speed, 90 something interior. Like he's going to be a pretty good card. 6'8" small forward, should be pretty well versatile, you would think. 6'8's not elite size though. I mean, he'd have to have really good animations to be a great card realistically, but it's an interesting name. I like seeing new names of players who haven't gotten cards in My Team in the past. We'll check out Clyde now. Realistically, Clyde is, I mean, his stats and badges are going to be perfect. Of course, as 100 overall, he's going to be an elite level slasher, 6'10" wingspan, pretty good size, good defender, solid card. Problem is his jumper's kind of odd. It's not easy to shoot with the stick this year. Now, shooting with the button, it is actually very smooth, very easy, but he's going to be one of those guys who I think, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to be better off shooting with the button than the stick with, which is weird for all the people who are out there who, like myself, are so used to rhythm shooting at this point in the year. So that's a little interesting, I have to say. But Clyde will be a really good card. I mean, he's a card that I'm interested to try out and a card that I think is going to be pretty darn solid. Pro 2 fade is great, although I think his upper kind of makes it a little bit worse. We'll have to see how that card is. Realistically, he's probably on the Vince Carter, Klay Thompson level of 100 overalls towards the bottom of the shooting guard position. Not a horrible card, but also not what I would consider a truly exceptional elite shooting guard. Probably going to be relatively affordable, or by 100 overall standards anyway, relatively affordable. So if you're a big Clyde fan, he might be attainable for you, but on general, probably not a game-changing card by any means, assuming there's no change to his jumper, which there probably won't be because 2K hasn't changed any jumpers of these Flash cards this season on Tuesdays. Alperin Sengun is pretty good, honestly. I mean, his Galaxy Opal, I think, was a little underrated. 6'11" with a 7'2" wingspan at power forward is not bad size. Had 86 speed on his Opal, which means you're going to see 90, 91 speed on his Dark Matter, probably maybe 89 to 90 speed would be, I guess. Should be a very good shooter, solid finisher. Hopefully he's got at least 90 standing and driving, and defensively 90 plus across the board pretty much. Maybe not quite in perimeter and steal, probably be like 87, but 90 plus interior, 90 plus block. Solid defender. Hopefully he has Hoff Paint Patroller, Hoff Immovable Enforcer, which he did not have on his previous card. But I mean, look, not a bad card. Probably won't get much in terms of upgraded animations. He'll get like Rush Dribble Style or something like that instead of Pro, which will be an improvement. Release on very quick will be solid though. Basic Fade is not bad. This is a pretty solid card. He will not be bad at all. His jumper's nice. He's going to have good speed. He's going to have pretty good size. And honestly, he'll probably be a little bit under the radar. Not as expensive as some of the other Dark Matter bigs. Now, I don't expect him to be a buyout because I think the way these flash sets work will keep him somewhat expensive with the cards themselves being kind of rare. But I think he'll be a solid card. I definitely think he will be a pretty good option at the power forward position, and definitely probably the most interesting card of this drop to me in terms of guys that actually could help people's teams for a reasonable price, is my thought process anyway. And then you have Galaxy Opal OJ Mayo, who is realistically, I mean, not great. OJ Mayo was a very fun player in real life, but I don't feel like that's ever really quite translated to 2K. He's only 6'5" with a 6'6" wingspan, so again, not being able to play point guard at this point in the year hurts his size viability. He'll be stat and badge-wise pretty darn solid, of course, but his jumper is J.R. Smith based with MJ upper. Even on quick, wasn't a good jumper. On very quick, it's not going to be a good jumper. I mean, this just plain and simple not going to be a good enough animation for this card to be a top-tier option by any means at the shooting guard position. Not a good enough jumper, even if they change his dribble style. Levine Escape and Harden behind the back certainly aren't cutting it either. This downright might just be a bad card. I think there's a serious chance he's just not good at all, which is unfortunate because OJ Mayo was a great player in real life, always a really fun hooper to watch. She was a Mav for a year and I enjoyed watching him when I was a kid. But the honest truth is his animations aren't going to be good enough if they don't change his animations to be anything more than a downright bad card, to be totally honest. Bad jump shot, bad sigs as an undersized shooting guard. That is a recipe for a bad card at this point in the year. Would probably not recommend OJ Mayo unless he gets a real animation makeover, which I do not expect to happen. So with that being said, very underwhelming Tuesday drop, especially compared to last week, which had some really interesting cards in it. Obviously, Galaxy Opal Drew Holiday was a beast, and Galaxy Opal JaVale at least had potential, even though his jumper wound up not being very good. And then Rodman and Worthy were like somewhat interesting. Now, Sengun is interesting as a Dark Matter, but that's about it outside of this drop. Because like Clyde will be good, but overpriced for how good he actually is. Booker probably will be solid, but not special as a 6'8" small forward, and OJ Mayo is probably going to suck. I'm ready for Super Packs as Tuesday content to be gone. Will they be? I don't know. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if season 7 is more of the same. It's just, if it's making 2K money, why would they change, right? I think that's part of the thought process we have to keep in mind. But at the same time, Super Packs on Tuesdays is just so mediocre. It's so boring. There's not a lot to look forward to in terms of Tuesday content. All you have is the Flash Challenge groups that you do that, and you do all 5 of them this season, you get 1 Dark Matter, so I guess that's cool. I haven't done any of them this season, though. Realistically, I'm not sure I'm going to at this point. Like, in general, I'd like to be more excited about this, but there's not a lot to be excited about, and so I'm not going to sit here and fake some sort of enthusiasm when the game doesn't deserve it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's my thought process. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this drop. If there's any cards in here tomorrow that y'all are interested to see, I'll probably do gameplays with Clyde and Sengun if I can get my hands on them. Maybe Trevor Booker as well. We'll see. Depends how good he is. Either way, that's gonna do it for the video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.